Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable silence can feel? Imagine you're sitting with someone, maybe a friend, a coworker, or even someone you just met. At first, the conversation flows naturally. You talk about something simple, they respond, you both exchange ideas and reactions. Everything feels normal. But then, suddenly, the conversation stops. No one says anything. The room becomes quiet. At first, it's only a second or two, but then something strange begins to happen inside your mind. The silence starts to feel longer than it actually is. You might look around the room, you might check your phone, or you might quickly try to think of something to say just to break the silence, almost as if the quiet itself is a problem that needs to be fixed. But why does this happen? After all, silence itself isn't dangerous. Nothing bad is happening, no one is arguing, no one is threatening you, and yet your brain reacts as if something is slightly wrong. To understand this reaction, we need to look at how the human brain evolved. For most of human history, humans lived in small social groups where communication played a critical role in survival. Talking wasn't just about sharing stories or opinions, it was a way to maintain cooperation, build trust, and detect problems within the group. Your brain became extremely sensitive to social signals. During conversations, your mind constantly analyzes information from the people around you. Tone of voice, facial expressions, body language, small pauses, even subtle changes in attention. All of these signals help your brain understand what other people might be thinking or feeling. But when silence suddenly appears, something important disappears with it. Information. Your brain loses the signals it normally uses to interpret the situation. And when the brain lacks information, it begins searching for explanations. Quietly, in the background, your mind starts asking questions. Did I say something wrong? Are they bored? Did I make the situation awkward? Are they judging me? This process happens automatically. You might not even notice it consciously, but your brain is trying to solve a small social mystery because uncertainty is something the brain strongly dislikes. In psychology, uncertainty often triggers mental discomfort. The brain prefers predictable environments where it can easily understand what is happening. Conversation normally provides that structure. People speak, others respond, the flow continues. But silence interrupts that flow, and suddenly your brain has fewer clues to analyze, so it begins filling the gaps with possible explanations. And very often, those explanations are negative. But here is the interesting part. Silence itself isn't the real source of the discomfort. The discomfort comes from interpretation. Your brain is trying to assign meaning to something that might not have any meaning at all. In reality, silence can represent many different things. Sometimes people are simply thinking. Sometimes they're enjoying the moment. Sometimes they just feel relaxed enough that they don't feel the need to constantly speak. In fact, in many cultures, silence is considered a sign of comfort, not awkwardness. Two people who trust each other deeply can sit together without saying a word, and neither person feels pressure to fill the space with conversation. Their brains don't interpret the silence as a threat. They interpret it as calm. This reveals something important about how our minds work. Silence is neutral, but the brain often treats it like a puzzle that needs to be solved. And once you understand this, something interesting happens. The next time silence appears in a conversation, you might notice your mind trying to react, trying to analyze, trying to explain the quiet. But instead of rushing to fill the silence, you can simply observe it. And in that moment, the silence stops feeling uncomfortable. It simply becomes what it always was, a quiet pause between thoughts.